Hello everybody in the Wellness Hub. How are you all today? I'm Ali Mortimer for those of you who are new to this Wellness Hub. Hello, how are you? I hope everyone is really well on this really glorious sunny day here in the UK. Now, as you can see, I'm in the car. We are on a road trip. We are so excited. We are actually taking a little bit of a mini break, and it's been a long time coming, and we're so excited to get away, my family and I, and we've just stopped to let the dogs out to go for a little bit of a wee, and we are stretching our legs. And I was awake last night because I was so excited about coming away and having a bit of a break. And while I was lying there, some thoughts came to mind. Often this happens to me. I get a whole load of ideas and thoughts. I thought, gosh, I'm going to go and share that in the Wellness Hub tomorrow morning. And the three things that were coming to my mind were some things that I hope will help all of you in terms of building your entrepreneurial businesses, your wellness businesses, or whatever you're building a business in, an online business, service-based business. So these are the things that have hugely helped me. That three of the top things that have really helped me build a really successful, sustainable, enjoyable business that I'm fully in love with, and a life that I love. And I was lying there in the dark and I had to scribble them down on a piece of paper, look, kind of my random notes in the middle of the night in the dark so I wouldn't wake my husband up. But there were three things that really sprung to mind in terms of what has really helped me build this sustainable, successful, joyful business that I've got. And the three things I'm going to share with you today, I think, are really, really important, especially when lots of people are talking to me about burnout. I think these are really critical and what have been real foundational pillars within my business. So I wanted to share them with you today. And then I'm hoping that you've got a pen and paper handy, or perhaps you can come back to it a little bit later, because I'm going to do something at the end, which is quite fun. And I do with a lot of my private clients when they're in a transitionary kind of phase. So the first thing that I believe that's really helped me build a really strong business is the fact that I have really, really clear boundaries. And I know Emma does as well. It's something that we're both in alignment with, is that you can, when you start your own business, get into this real entrepreneurial trap of feeling like you have to be on all the time, that you feel guilty that you're not working on or in or doing something for your business all the time, and you can feel like it's constantly like a weight on your shoulders or a ball around your neck. And it's really important to set those really, really clear boundaries straight off. I mean, so many people who, or so many of us who set up our own businesses, particularly in the wellness space, usually because we've had some sort of burnout or health problem previously. So the last thing you want to do is then reproduce that in your own business. So I believe that there are four key areas in terms of boundaries. You've got material, physical, emotional, and mental boundaries, and all of those are really important to set. But the key one that I really wanted to focus on right now, Lorati says that was her. Yes, absolutely. The one that I really want to focus on right now is the material boundary, the material boundary in terms of your time. So how much time do you spend on your business? Now, to me, boundaries are very much the way that you can say yes or no to something. Having a boundary is just a mechanism for which you to say yes or no. Felicity, hello, gorgeous. This is you. Yes, absolutely. So a boundary is just something that helps you stake in the ground, say yes or no to. It's, you know, it just makes it very, very clear, and actually getting them really, really defined helps you make that yes or no decision. So in terms of time, I know that my time is precious. The reason why I wanted to start my business was to have more time, to have more freedom, to have more time with my family, more time with myself, more time with my kids, more time with my husband, freedom to do whatever we wanted to do. So time was a very, very clear boundary that I set myself. And at the beginning of starting my business, I wasn't yet clear on that, but it soon became clear because I was beginning to feel burnout. I was seeing clients first thing in the morning before they started work, and I was seeing them after work. And I know that those aren't my best times, you know, 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then after 8 o'clock at night definitely aren't the right times for me. So I reduced my hours to when I knew that I was at my best. So I know that I'm at my best from 10:30 until before 5. Michelle says she's 10 till 3. Yes, absolutely. So it's knowing that I'm my best within those hours, and that's when I want to give my best to my clients. I also make sure that I have a full break and day off on Wednesdays. Wednesday is my day to breathe. And it started being a Wednesday because my boys are both very, very sporty. So in the afternoon, I'll be traveling around the country to watch them play sport. So I take the day off on a Wednesday, and the morning is purely for me, and I get to do something lovely for me. And during this last year of lockdown, when I haven't been racing around the country, it's been very much a day where I've just said, today is the day that I get to do the things that I just want to do, I desire to do, not I feel I have to do. It's just a day where I really want to do something for me. So Wednesdays are really, really important for me to just clear my diary. I don't see clients, I don't do any work. I might do some creative stuff because I want to, but not because I need to. And then also for me, weekends are a no-no. I try not to do any kind of work, don't go on my emails, don't do anything like that. It's time for my family. So boundaries is why I believe that my business is sustainable. And I know that there was a bit in my head that just said, oh no, I should be doing. But actually, the more I've leant back and the more I've taken a breath and taken away from my business, actually, the more I've seen my business become more and more successful. So, and I know Emma's the same. I think she's Wednesdays and Fridays because she's got a lovely little baby. She's got Darcy. So it's really important for her and her family to make sure that she has that time off as well. So we honour our boundaries. And that's one of the things that we'll be talking about in the Well Balanced Business Programme. Balance is all about the balance of the two, the leaning forwards and the leaning back, the doing and the being. And that's one thing that Emma and I are very, very clear on. So boundaries are really, really important. So that's one of the reasons why my business is so successful and it's so sustainable, because I'm not burning myself out. So boundaries is a really important thing. The second thing I scribbled on my piece of paper, hang on a second, I'm just gonna have a drink. It's really warm in the car. I feel like I'm sat in a conservatory. The second thing that I believe that has meant that I have had such success in my business and feel that it's really sustainable as well is the second key pillar is all about leadership. And you might question me talking about leadership when we all start out pretty much as a business of one. What do you mean leadership? I came from a very corporate background where there were leaders in business and they led big teams. I had huge teams, I led big teams. So when you come down to being a team of one, leadership is still absolutely crucial because you have to lead yourself first. This is about leading you, inspiring yourself, leading yourself all the way through absolutely everything you do. You have to lead yourself to make the right decisions. In corporates, we are told pretty much what to do and we toe the party line, and every decision is made by by forums, by committees, and you go through lots and lots of processes and it takes a really long time. So when we're on our own, we have to get used to making the decision for ourselves. We have to lead ourselves to make the right decisions for ourselves. We lead ourselves, and in doing so, by leading ourselves, we set the example for others to do the same for themselves as well. So leading myself, how has this looked in terms of my business? So when I started my business, I was coming out of the back of recovering from clinical depression, PTSD, insomnia and an eating disorder. So by the time I'd finished, my insomnia was getting a lot better. I was putting on weight, I was looking a lot better. My clinical depression was managed. My PTSD still had me, could floor me for several days and several weeks, and it was a very, very dark space that I could go back into this darkness for a few days, and I had to lead myself out of that. I had to breathe through it and I had to lead myself back from this darkness into the light. So I got very used to leading myself, taking those small steps to making the right decisions. So at the beginning of my business, I had made this decision that this was going to be my business. All the way through my life up till this point, I'd been led by the influence of others. My dad, my husband, I asked for help, for support in making all my own decisions for me. Shall I do this? Shall I do that? Shall I invest in this? Shall I not invest in that? Should I spend this money? Should I not spend that money? Should I go that way? Should I do it for this? Should I do that? What should I do? I don't know. And in having that period of time on my own, when my marriage had broken apart, I had to lead myself and make my own decisions. And that really, really helped me. So when I started my business, I decided that I would make the decisions for myself. I would make the decisions for me, for myself, and for my business and for my future. I didn't need to ask anybody else's permission. I just needed to ask myself for my own permission, and I started to lead myself in the decision-making process. So when I started my business and I had to invest in it, I had to invest in the training, and I had to invest in coaches, and I had to invest in branding, and I had to invest in systems and all of these sorts of things. I didn't ask anybody. I didn't ask my dad. I didn't ask my husband. We were back together by then. I didn't ask my father-in-law. I didn't ask anybody. I didn't even ask my best friend. I just sat and asked myself, does this feel right? Is this what I want to do? Is this taking me where I want to go? And this became a very, very instinctive process. So rather than listening to my head and the voices in my head that sounded very, very much like my dad, very, very much like my husband James, or very much like, you know, lots of other people, I felt. I started to make decisions that were heart-led, that were gut-led. Is this right for me? Does this feel right to me? And I had to still my mind in order to feel. I had to quieten my mind in order to feel. Does this feel right? Because when you make decisions with your heart, you're never, ever wrong. If you make decisions with your head, there's often regret, or I end up back-chatting to myself. You should have done this. You should have done that. Da, 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 da. But if it felt right, there's no comeback. This felt right. This was right. This feels right. This feels good. This feels amazing. So I started to be heart-led, and everything in my business and in my life has now become a heart-led decision. And I've never looked back. So whenever I have to make decisions going forward, I always ask myself, does this feel right? Does this feel good? Yes or no? Am I excited about this? Now, sometimes there's a bit of fear, but fear I always see as a good sign, because fear to me means that I'm going to do it. Fear is just a sign that I'm going to do it. If I wasn't frightened, then I'd be walking away and I wouldn't be doing it. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff. If it's too high, I'm not going to jump. I'm going to walk away. I'm not frightened at all because I'm not going to do it. But if I am about to jump, if I'm co-steering and it looks like it's going to be fun, it's that exhilarating. Fear is just often excitement, just packaged up in a slightly different way because it's unknown. And I think, as I said in the original webinar, when I'm about to do something, does it feel right? Does it feel good? Do I know I'm going to be okay? Do I trust myself? Yes, I trust myself. I'm a sure thing. I'm not a gamble. I'm going to do this. This feels great. I trust me. I trust me. Me, myself, and I. I am my team. I'm leading us. I'm leading me. And in doing so, I've been able to lead countless others through the same sorts of things. So the first thing is boundaries. Being very, very clear on your boundaries. The second thing is about leadership. Can you lead yourself? That was really important for me. Oh, I wrote down here, when it came to decision making around money, I come from a family of bank managers and accountants. My dad was a bank manager for over 40 years. My husband is an accountant. My sister-in-law and best friend is an accountant. My father-in-law is an accountant. I'm surrounded by bank managers and accountants, and they're so risk averse. So I stopped asking them about money advice, because if I would never have got to where I was right now if I hadn't invested in my business. And I just decided, you know what, this is my debt, my mess. No, scratch out my mess, my success. So every time James looked at my spreadsheets, because he does my finances for me, he'd be like, you're spending how much? I'm like, no, I'm not spending, I'm investing. I'm investing in me, I'm investing in my business, and it's going to pay off. And up until the last 6 months, he was like, are you sure, Ali? And I was like, yes, I am a sure thing. This is my success path. And now he believes me. I trusted myself. I knew myself. I went with it. I did it. My mess, my debt, my success. Always me. And no mess. So there we go. The third thing I wanted to talk about was imagination. The third pillar in building my successful business is my imagination. And I'd love for you to do the same. I have imagined, I believe, there's a saying I once heard, I can't for the life of me remember where it was, everything is created twice, once in the mind and then in reality. You have to imagine it first. And I imagined my business, my life, everything first. How I wanted to live, what I wanted to be, how I wanted to do everything in my life. I imagined the feelings, I imagined what it would look like, and I would imagine, and I still imagine every single day, Imagine my day ahead. How do I want it to go? Imagine how I want my business to look like. Imagine how I want my client sessions to go. Imagine how I want this holiday to be. I imagine it all first. This holiday I've imagined being sunny all the way through. And when we looked at booking it the other week, it was rain all the way through, but I would only imagine sunshine. And I said a little prayer to my mum. Can you sort out the weather, please, mum? And she has. So I imagine everything. Imagine, imagine, imagine. And so I wrote this down. And this is often something that I do with many of my clients who are in a transition phase, when they're moving, trying to make decisions from a life that they have to where they want to go. And I did this with one of my beautiful clients the other week, and she's deciding which way she wants to go. She could take the partner path and become a partner in her business, in her profession, or she can follow her soul and her heart and do what she wants to do. So I asked her to do this exercise. So I'm going to ask you to do the same. So as long as you're not driving, as long as it's safe to do so, I'd really love you to just do this little exercise with me. And I'd like you to just close your eyes. And I'm just going to sit back and hope you can just hear me. But I want you to take a really deep breath. And as you take a deep breath, I want you just to imagine yourself rising. So use your breath to help you lift your spine. Oh, this is typical, isn't it? Hang on 1 second, everybody. Could you just bear with me? Could you shut that and give me another 5 minutes? Just give me. Could you, James? I'm just in the middle of just doing a live guided meditation. Would you just mind giving me a minute?
Get off there. It's filthy.
Family trip. Excuse me. Right, okay, shall we start again? Thank goodness that was right in the middle, not all the way through. Right, just take a moment. Let's take a moment and take a deep breath in. Let your spine lift you taller as you breathe up. And then as you breathe out, just let your body relax and soften. Let it all the way out. And then do that again. Breathe in, raising up. And then let it out. Three is the magic number. Do it one more time. Breathing up, raise your spine. And then breathe out. Now you can do this with your eyes closed or your eyes open. It's totally up to you. But can you imagine you are just waking up in those precious moments, just as you wake up, and the sun is shining, and you're feeling really comfortable in your bed. It's just a normal day, just a normal work day, just a normal day. But you've got this tingle in your toes. That tingle in your toes when you know you're so excited about something. Do you know what I mean? You get the tingle in your toes, and then you can start to feel it as it creeps all the way up your legs, and it comes all the way up into your shoulders, and you just like, you can feel this frisson of pure excitement because you know that you're going to have the most amazing day, and you are so excited for the day ahead. In fact, you are so excited for the whole week ahead. You're excited for the whole month ahead. You're so excited for your life right now. You're just so excited about everything that's in your diary, for all of the exciting things, the people that you're going to be with, the things that you're going to do. You are just so excited about life. And I want you to take a moment just to breathe in that pure excitement of how excited you feel about your life. And now just allow your imagination to think about what it is that you're actually really excited for. Use your imagination to dream of the possibilities. Dream of the potential outcomes that could be happening in your life right now. And then with that thought, I would love for you to grab a pen and paper and just let your stream of consciousness write out everything that you're excited about. everything that came to your mind that made you think about your toes tingling and your body frisson. Write it all out. Get excited for the vision that just came through for you. What are you excited about for today? What are you excited about for the week? What are you excited about for the month? Write it all out. And then what I would love for you to do within this group is to share what came up for you. Share what you are excited about in your future life. Just tell us what you're excited about, who is in that vision, where are you going, and what are you doing. Write it all out and share it in here so that we can be excited with you. I would love for you to do that. So that was a very brief little live from my car somewhere around Birmingham, I think. I'm not quite sure where we are. Love for you to share that. But I just wanted to come in because that came through for me last night to talk to you about the 3 things that I think have been really pivotal in helping me build my business to where I am and helping it be sustainable. Having really, really clear boundaries, being able to lead yourself, and having a really, really powerful imagination. So that's it for me today. We have 4 days to go until the Well Balanced Business Program. We cannot wait to join the most amazing, gorgeous group of women who will be with us on Monday going through this program and the next 14 weeks with us. I know that there are quite a few of you out there who are still asking questions. And I hope this little video helped you in terms of the decisions that you are going to make. So looking forward to being with you. If you've got any questions, do let us know. We will do our absolute utmost to answer them. But please bear in mind that Emma and I do have boundaries. And Emma has Fridays off. And I also am on holiday. And while I'm happy to speak to people, please don't leave it until Sunday night. So sending you all tons and tons of love. Sending you lots and lots of love. And we'll speak to you very, very soon. Bye.